What's going on, everyone? It's the Halfback here, and welcome back to another episode of Rising Above Adversity A.F.C. Bournemouth, where the focus for today's episode will be on our away game against Newcastle in the Premier League. But before we get into that game, I need to report to you our results since the last live con, which of course was the 1-0 defeat against Chelsea, where we were really unlucky, conceded a late goal via Oscar's header in the 87th minute, I believe it was. So that was very disappointing, and I said after that we had two difficult away games coming up, and we unfortunately lost both of them to make it 6 defeats on the spin in all competitions. First against Everton, we started off really poorly. You can see they were 2-0 up within 12 minutes. The performance after that did improve, but we were always trying to play catch up. Stanku pulled a goal back in the 63rd minute, but we just were unable to push on and get the equaliser from that one. And then we went away to the Emirates against Arsenal, and they pretty much battered us in this one. Alexis Sanchez getting a hat-trick. Clement Grenier also picking up a goal. Jelle Vossen did score an absolutely beautiful goal, but again, like the Everton game, it was just a kind of consolation goal. Didn't mean anything. We went on and lost the game, but we picked ourselves up from this rot against West Brom at home. West Brom are a side that are kind of in and around our position. At home, we really stamped our authority on the game, winning it 3-0. Hervin on Gender continuing his fantastic goal scoring record at the moment so far since he's been at the club with 2 goals. Nikoso Stanku as well getting another goal. He's doing quite well in terms of goal scoring as well. But these next 2 fixtures, and it's even making my blood boil just thinking about it now. I was livid after these 2 games, and let me explain why. First, Burnley at home. Burnley rock bottom of the Premier League, and now after this West Brom game, I was expecting us to really kick on and, you know, pick up 3 points at this one, especially at home. And from the early stages, it kind of, I could tell the pattern of the game was kind of in Burnley's favour. They seemed really up for it, and in particular Danny Ings. But we actually took the lead. Jelle Vossen again getting himself on the score sheet. Just 3 minutes later, though, they equalised through Ashley Barnes, you can see there. Then straight from kickoff, we gave the ball away straight to Burnley. They went on the counter-attack. Danny Ings, 2-1 Burnley, sorry. But we improved our performance after that. You can see Matt Ritchie equalised in the 71st minute. I expected us to kick on from there, possibly get a winner, and it looked like we had. Harry Arto in the 89th minute with an absolute screamer. I was buzzing after that goal. And then we done the same thing which we done against Crystal Palace, straight from kickoff once again, gave the ball away cheaply. Burnley went on the counter-attack. Danny Ings in the 93rd minute equalises. The second time this season, as I said, we've conceded a 93rd minute equaliser, and we dropped 2 points. But then, even more frustrating, this time against Wigan away from home. Wigan also in the relegation zone at the moment, just come up from the Championship. A big chance for us to get 3 points there. And they took the lead through Oriol Riera. You can see it on the 45th minute. We pulled it back though in the just after half time. Hervin on Gender with a goal. Artur Buric then scored an own goal, but we managed to equalise through Hervin on Gender again. This guy is just ridiculous at the moment. 11 goals in 13 games, but he managed to equalise in that one for us. And then in the 92nd minute, again in injury time, we just completely shut off Jacob Mellis with the goal to get all 3 points for Wigan. But thankfully, in the previous game that we've just played, 3-1 against Swansea. Now Swansea were 5th coming into the game. Callum Wilson, who's really struggled this season, so really pleasing to see him score a brace. And again, Hervin on Gender on the score sheet. These two really linked up well in this game. So where does that leave us in the Premier League? Well, we are currently 16th. Now, I'm going to highlight it straight away. This is the real problem. Goals against. We've conceded the most goals in the league so far. Going forward, you've seen it. We're fine. There's no problems there. When you've got the likes of Ongenda, Callum Wilson, you're always going to score goals. But defensively, we've just been awful, even worse than last season. So that's something we need to rectify. And Newcastle, incredibly, are actually top of the table coming into this game, which is a bit of a surprise. But this is the team we've got for today. Ulreich is coming into goal. I'm dropping Boruc. He's been terrible lately, making so many mistakes. So Ulreich, the German keeper who we signed last year, is going to come into the side. Back four of Isla, Mamana, Steve Cook and Sean Kavanagh. Midfield we've got Lucas Leiva, Sami Khedira, Joaquin Correa and Nikusa Stankiu. And up front we've got Callum Wilson and Ongendo, who can hopefully kick on from that last game and produce similar performance. On the bench, Artur Boruc, Simon Francis, Juraj Kuka, Danny Wilson, Matt Ritchie, Harry Arter and Jelle Vossen. So of course it looks like it will be a difficult game. I'm surprised Newcastle are kind of that high up the table, leading the pack at the moment. Be interesting to see who they've got in their side. I mean, no one too outstanding. I mean, they've got the likes of Nani, Cabella, John Obi Mikel, but no outstanding players, you would say, really. Especially defensively, it doesn't look that impressive. But the team, I guess, as a team, they're performing really well at the moment. But hopefully, I'm hoping, just hoping for a good defensive performance. We haven't really, I think, the game against West Brom has definitely been our best performance so far this season, both defensively and going forward. Well, actually, going forward probably was the Spurs game on the first day of the season. But definitely defensively, the West Brom game has been our best performance defensively. So hopefully we can kind of produce a performance like that. Early on in the game, not too much happening so far. No shots really in the first 15 minutes or so. So we're keeping it quiet, which is good, I suppose. But there's a corner coming in from Cabella here. And Lascelles hits the crossbar. Thankfully, it is cleared. But the danger signs are there. Newcastle are really ramping up the pressure. You can see by the stats, having a lot of shots now. We need to get a foot in the game, and hopefully we can do it here. Callum Wilson plays it back to Isla to Lucas Leiva, who's done really well so far. Lucas Leiva to Stankiu. I'm not sure why he's tried to pass it all the way back there. He seemed like he had a bit of space to kind of turn and get a shot away if he wanted to. But he's got the ball again here. He finds Ongenda off the post. He seemed like he had a load of space there to kind of pick his spot, and he's hit the post. But good signs there in terms of going forward. As I said, that's not been a problem for us so far this season. It's been the defending that has been the issue. As Steve Cook, Sami Khedira, and the highlight ends there. But half an hour gone, still 0-0. Newcastle on the attack. Remy Cabella whips it in. Mamana does well to clear it, but it is going to come straight back at us. And I've got a very, very bad feeling about this, as Nani gets the ball and Sean Kavanagh concedes the penalty. Oh, was it Sean Kavanagh? It looked like Sean Kavanagh was with maybe Mamana. Well, I'm not even going to bother. I'm not even going to bother. Who's stepping up here? Cabella. I'm fully expecting this to be 1-0, and yes, it is. Right in the bottom corner. 1-0 Newcastle, and yeah, after doing well for half an hour, one mistake there from Sean Kavanagh, and Newcastle are ahead. Not going to give up hope just yet, though. We've got the players, of course, that can score goals, so we're not out of it just yet. But Stankiu plays it into Callum Wilson. Callum Wilson turns and straight at Krul there. He should have done a lot better. See, we're having these chances. Hervin and Gender, you saw that chance where he hits the post, and now Callum Wilson not taking the chances, and we could be punished here. Remy Cabella parried away by Ulreich. It falls straight into the path of Jose Perez, and that is 2-0 Newcastle, coming close to half time. And at this point, it is very hard to see us getting back into this one. But if we can pull one back before half-time, that will give us hope. But we need to start taking our chances. We've had two really good chances as Ongenda picks up the ball. Can he take this one? He hits the post again, and it falls into the palms of Tom Krul as the half-time whistle goes. And it's just not going for us at the moment. We're just not getting the rub of the green. I'll tell the players that first half has been disappointing. Hopefully we can see a bit more from them in the second half. I feel like we need an early goal, really, if we are going to get an unlikely point from this one. But it's not going to happen with that kind of defending. Remy Cabella just gets in behind so easily there and allowed to whip in the cross. Newcastle looking very good on the attack. Varela on the ball to Nani. Nani into Jose Perez. Ulreich again parries it, and once again it falls to a Newcastle man. 3-0 Newcastle. This is not good at all. So terribly defensively. I'm not sure why we're defending so bad at the moment. As Ogenda pulls one back, that's what another one to add to his tally. But at the moment, I can't be fully happy with, you know, the way Ongenda's playing, because as a team it's just not happening. Sean Kavanagh is having an absolute shocker. I'm gonna bring him off. 4.5 rating, absolutely dreadful. I'll bring on Danny Wilson. We haven't got another left back, of course. Kieran Gibbs is out with a broken foot at the moment, so it's a couple of months before he's back in action. 20 minutes left to go now. Hopefully Newcastle don't increase this lead further, or maybe we can break. Stanku on the ball, plays it to Ongenda. Not too many men forward, but we're starting to break forward now here. Ongenda to Correa. Lucas Leiva patiently probing, trying to find the gaps. He does find the gap. Callum Wilson was nearly in there, but well defended by, I believe it was Colaccini, and Newcastle going to break with it. Perez to Medran. Alright, again with parries it. Newcastle have completely dominated this game. I'm actually going to speed up the highlights. I kind of just want this to be over as quick as possible now. We're not going to come back into it. I'm just going to have to look at maybe the system we're playing at the moment. Of course, we've been playing with the diamond for this season. Maybe I'm going to have to look at tying up the defence somehow, as Colback makes it 4-1. And there's not really much more I can say. It's evident to see where the issues are lying, and it's just what I can do to kind of change it and improve us and get us up the table. I had such high hopes coming into the season, but it's ended 4-1 Newcastle. Newcastle will stay top of the Barclays Premier League table. We will stay in 16th as well, it looks like, unless Aston Villa are playing in the next few days or so. But that's 4-1 Newcastle. Another horrible defeat. We've taken so many batter ends this season. But I'll look at the fixtures and see what we've got coming up. Hopefully the fixture lists are slightly more easier than us. Obviously, of course, it's the Premier League. There's never no easy fixtures. But we've got Derby coming up next. Maybe a chance to pick up some points there then against QPR. So hopefully we can start picking up some points in those two games. But I'll probably leave it. Of course, I'll leave it here for now. I'll probably come back for, I'm not sure yet, maybe the Southampton game. I'm not 100% sure yet. But if you did enjoy this episode, please do leave a thumbs up. And as I always say, if you're not subscribed to the channel just yet, go ahead and subscribe. It's been the Halfback, and I'll see you guys in a bit.